In this video, I will give you a perspective that will allow you to view what you call as past mistakes, regrets, failures, with more accepting perception, with more compassion towards yourself. What we often forget is that our human lower mind lacks depth in comparison to our higher mind, our higher self, who has all the vantage points, who has the capability to perceive the whole and the big picture. So yeah, if we have regrets, or we think we made a mistake, or some fails, or wrong choices, it's just that our human mind is not also capable of perceiving like different layers for the same situation. And it's easy to look back from the current position and to look back at our younger selves, our less experienced selves, our less wise selves, and to criticize them and judge them and deem them as stupid. Oh my God, how could I make that stupid mistake? Or like, what the fuck was that? But back then, when we made these so-called or alleged mistakes, we didn't have the access to the bigger picture, and we were absorbed in the experience itself. So it was more difficult to perceive because we were not detached from it. We were attached to it. When we went through this past experience that from the present moment eyes or perception level we like to call as mistake or wrong choice, we might not be even aware that there were some hidden benefits why we had to go through this experience that we like to call a mistake. Maybe we needed to go through it in order for us to uncover some hidden character traits, or we needed to learn some specific lesson, or we just had to be in that specific place and time, so that would open up for us in future opportunities. So it's easy to judge and blame. It's like if we continue to reject what happened in the past, we just keep adding resistance to it. So, and we cannot let go of it. But it's very important for us to find a way to work on these parts of us that keep resisting this past experience and cannot let it go. Now, I personally definitely believe that these choices that we sometimes like to deem as bad choices or negative choices, there is also potential of benefits in these choices as well. And we humans, we have the power to choose different meanings for certain situations, circumstances. So we have the power also to reframe the past event from less empowered to more empowered meaning. We can definitely change meanings to what happened to us in the past, but of course in a natural way, not in a forceful way to just to avoid the past pain without process it out and heal. No, because that would be spiritual bypass. But when we have this like natural awareness that, yeah, now I can look at this in a different light, then it's time, then we can do that. And some meanings that we give to our past events are more empowering, some others are less. So we get to choose that. We get to exercise our free will. Sometimes we are in a crossroads of making important choices, and we don't want to make a huge mistake. But what this does is it puts a tremendous pressure on us, because we are afraid that that will also impact our results and our performance. But we also have to remember, even if we make mistake, or in other terms, even if we don't hear our higher self, our intuition, if we miss them, their signals, and we go a different route, ultimately where this different route is leading, or any other routes, is leading back to our path that we are supposed to be on. So in a sense, you could say that the term the right choice could be alleged term, allegedly right, because our earth mind, what it perceives as right, or thinks that that's the right path or right step, might not be the right one for us in this specific moment, according to our higher self, or according to the bigger picture, where we need to be right now in this moment. And where we need to be in this present moment is always based on our current state of consciousness. Sometimes we might need to go a little side route or path to come back to where we need to be. Sometimes this sideways path might be path of least resistance. Even if from our human mind it seems like it will take longer time when we go sideways, that might not be the case for us, because it's also could be related to our current state of consciousness. Maybe that's the best path for us right now, in this moment, in this current stage of our life. So even in that sense, again, this perception of how long it's going to take could also again be very subjective. For example, we made a decision, and our ego, our mind, may analyze that in a specific context. For example, from a perspective of financial gains, our mind analyzes it as poor decision making, just not the best for our financial gains. But in that moment, what our mind might be missing is that, okay, maybe it's not the best in terms of financial gains, but at the same time it could be best in other ways that is not maybe related to money, but we really needed to make that decision that would propel us in a different ways, and that would in a longer term outweigh the immediate financial gains that our mind is so fixated upon. And when the mind is focused on specific thing, obviously it filters out all kinds of different information, and then we miss it. Another thing is that I want to add is, when we feel bitterness or resentment towards specific past experience, we experienced it, maybe something that was unwanted and we didn't want to have it, and if we had a chance that we would not choose it again. But what we have to remember is that when we are experiencing something that is unwanted, the benefit for that is that it can create an even bigger motivation for us, an even bigger commitment for us. And also through contrast, it can give us more clarity that instead of what is unwanted, we do know what is wanted. And so it can give us more boost, more commitment to create in our life and make decisions and choices that are necessary for us to create that aligns, that is related to the wanted thing, that is opposite to what we experienced in the past. So that's a win for us. So basically, through contrast, we were guided. It was a great guide for us, great guidance, by experiencing contrast in our life, which is inevitable. We live in a universe that is full of contrast, and universe that is permanent of changes and shifts. And what we can expect is that we're going to experience different obstacles, different challenges in our life that will try to prevent us from reaching our goals, our desires, for us to up-level and grow. That will happen. That's how it does. And it's just in these moments also, often our subconscious blockages will be, you could say, highlighted, that we need to deal with in order that we can transcend these external obstacles and challenges that we are facing, that are in our way. Whenever we decide that we want to level up, we want to grow, step into the next level, and we will always experience different sorts of challenges. It's how it's built, this universe, and also the old structures that are opposed to what we want to accomplish, achieve and create, they will also try to prevent us from creating that. These old structures could be in different ways, different manifestations. It could be different people, it could be different systems, laws that the old consciousness, the old world does not want to let go, because it's very convenient for them. And so that doesn't mean that we have made a mistake or that we should not continue to pursue that. Not at all. The message that I want to convey through this video is that even if your mind is telling you or saying you that whatever you did in the past, that was a mistake, often there is still a possibility that we can leverage what we call as mistake and view it in the best possible, the most serving way for us. Okay, I did that step. Now, how can I use it to my advantage from now on? Like, what does this help me to do moving forward? Does this create more commitment in my life, or more motivation, or more awareness, or maybe it's possible to reframe it in a different way, give it a new meaning? What is the most serving way for me to look at this situation right now without denying what has happened? But still, at the end, in order to overcome it and transcend it, we need to find a way to move on. So that's my message for today. And yeah, I just want to let you know that you're a powerful creator. So exercise your power. And I see you in the next video.